One of the things that we've kind of been dealing with throughout the afternoon is sort of this again. It's right here in the middle of downtown DC on a holiday week, people walking around. And so as the shooting happened, slowly, quickly, people started to panic. Things were kind of going in a sideways direction as they not only saw some, but others heard the gunshots. And we wanted to give you a listen to kind of what the scene looked like when I arrived talking to folks. This is a man from Albany, Georgia, who gave us some insight into what he heard.
5 shots.
5 shots?
And then everybody was running. Then sirens everywhere, helicopters.
Where did you see everybody
There was 2 shots, and then 3 came probably 30 seconds behind them, too.
Oh, my gosh. What did you see after that? Everybody running? Where were they running to?
They was running from that way this way.
What are you talking about, people or
Yeah,
police?
everybody, people.
And now what are you seeing since you've been here?
I noticed that bank is surrounded.
Yeah. Did you see any National Guardsmen around? Or?
No, I have not. I didn't even know that was the case until he told me about it.
Yeah, so what I want to be able to do to walk everyone through this situation now is to give you an idea of what we're dealing with now that we know sort of like the preliminaries of what happened. This is what it looks like from across Farragut Square. You can see the contingent of law enforcement, the interagency work, and this is what Kash Patel, the FBI director, was talking about. He said, you know, the great work between local and federal law enforcement as well as the National Guard, he believes will make this a quick investigation, one that he believes will bring justice. And of course, Jeanine Pirro, the U.S. Attorney for D.C., she has already been in contact with the mayor. We heard talking about how she is planning to move forward with this case. But of course, there's so much to get to before it actually sees a courtroom, right, in terms of gathering evidence. So I want to take you across the way, and as you can see, because this was near a metro stop, even though it was not at the metro stop at West Farragut, there is Metro Transit Police. They're involved in the investigation. MPD, as we saw, is the lead for the investigation, but it seems like the spokesperson for this was Kash Patel, sort of trying to show a bit of control over the investigation to show that the federal partners and local partners are working well together and that they are very much in control, despite the fact that this is a week in which, you know, it's Thanksgiving week. Many people are already out of town. As we're moving through this investigation, remember that part of what they're looking for is not only forensic evidence, but they're looking for any sort of information that might lead to what led up to the ambush. We've heard conflicting reports from witnesses about shouting, but that, as we heard, was potentially not the case, that this was just an ambush. The National Guardsmen did not see it coming, and luckily the quick work of nearby National Guards were able to bring the suspect into custody. This is according to MPD. But right now, you have forensics teams going through this. This is not, as you heard, a homicide scene, by the way, yet. It's very clear to make that distinction, because when the governor of West Virginia perhaps prematurely or improperly tweeted that both the guardsmen died, that would change the investigation significantly from, you know, a shooting, a violent shooting, but to a homicide, in which there will be other factors coming forward in terms of charges potentially. So we're working to get more information throughout the night. What we're going to have to do is stay on top of the guardsmen's condition as well as where they are in the investigation. We don't foresee, unless something comes up, any sort of press conferences coming up to us anytime soon after that last one. But again, we want to reiterate sort of the big portions of this particular investigation, right? That 2 guardsmen have been shot. They're in critical condition, ambushed, according to MPD, by a suspect who is also has injuries, having been shot by law enforcement. He is also at a hospital. We're working to figure out which of the 2, although there are only several trauma centers nearby, and generally gunshot victims will go to the trauma centers, which would be GW, which would be MedStar, any of the MedStar hospital centers, another trauma center, and there's about 4 or 5 in the region, so we know that they are at one of those, and we're working to get more information into who the suspect is, and we don't know if we'll get that tonight, but there's always a chance as we continue to work with our partners to get the identity of the suspect, their injuries, and if throughout their treatment they are charged or at least put into custody while they're there, we will be able to bring you those charges and what that looks like. But it's going to be an investigation that we can see even from our side, here on the press, here in the media. It's going to be throughout the night that we're checking to get you the latest information, because things are going to be happening by the hour tonight and we'll be on top of it. But for now, at Farragut Square, I'm Matt Gregory. Back to you.